At this point in your Start Here process, you are on step 4, which means that you should have already reviewed information about the textbook and made your decision about which textbook package you want to purchase. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go back to step 1 and take a look at the video that's posted and the information on the textbook. You also should have completed step 2 to completely review the syllabus and also make sure that your computer hardware and software is going to be adequate for the course. And also you should have taken a look at the technical support areas. That's where you want to go when you have questions or technical difficulties with your computer or anything that you think is related to one of the systems that we're using, Blackboard, email, My IT Lab, any of the systems that we're using and that you have a question about. And you should also have reviewed the entire course information menu. That includes the syllabus also, and it also has some breakouts of some important sections in the syllabus and lots of other information that is not necessarily in the syllabus, but it is important for the course. So if you haven't done steps 1, 2, and 3, you should go back and do those at this point. In step 4, I'm just going to have you quickly take a look at some other areas in the course. You're going to revisit them again in detail, but this will just help you to learn where everything is. You're going to be looking at My Information. You will be looking at Lab Hours, the discussion board, an area called Rubrics, Sending Email, the My Grades area, and also the My Profile area. And finally, Student Resources. So underneath Staff Information, it's actually a button with my name on it. You just want to take a quick look at it. You can go back and read this in detail. I just want to show you what the page looks like. This includes my contact information, my office location, which is in Slidell, and the office hours that I am available just for drop-ins. If you would like to meet with me outside of those office hours and you need to make an appointment, give me a call or send me an email and we can set something up. Going over to lab hours, the lab hours that you see in this video may actually change by the time you get to take a look at the lab hours area. These are the hours that were posted when I created this menu button, but I need to make sure that they are up to date. So I want you to make sure that you actually take a look at the menu area in the class and take a look at the times that you might need to use the open labs. The location or the times are listed for all of the locations, City Park, West Bank, and on the North Shore. I know most of you are at City Park and or West Bank, but some of you may be on the North Shore. As you know, if you are a North Shore student, we do not have open labs that are open at specific times of the day. You pretty much have to catch them when they are free. But if you have any problems and you actually do need to use a lab on campus or a computer on campus, please let me know if you're having problems finding availability. Next, we're going to skip by assignments. You're going to go back to assignments on your own. But the next item is the discussion board area. We will have a couple of assignments that you'll do in the discussion board. Now there is a forum for your introductions, and there are also 2 other forums, one called Cyber Cafe and another called Ask the Instructor. The introductions forum is an area that you're going to access right after this step. In step 5, you're asked to do an orientation of the course, and one of the tasks that you're going to be asked to do in there is to create a profile page for yourself or a home page. And so when you get to this point, you should have already created that home page, and you should have also reviewed a few of your classmates' profiles also. What you'll do in this forum, again, this is going to be part of your first week of assignments, is to see if you can find someone's profile that you feel has something in common with yourself. If you don't find something like that, it's okay. But if you can find a person who has listed their profile and you feel like you have something in common, it can be personal or related to school or work or anything that you feel you have in common, come back to the discussion board and post some information about that person or what you learned about that person in your own post, and tell what you have in common with that person. You're going to want to list their name and also the area that you think you have in common. So that's what you want to do for that post. If you don't find anyone that you feel you have anything in common with, just pick someone and introduce them to the rest of the class. Then, after you've created that initial post, you're going to read through other posts that other students have created, and I want you to respond to someone else's post inside of the discussion board. So for this first discussion board forum, you'll just be graded on the one original post that you post introducing someone else to the class, and also a response to one other student. And so it's a really simple forum this time around. You just want to kind of get to know everybody a little bit better. You're also going to find two other forums in the discussion board right now. The first one, Cyber Cafe, is for you to use. This is not a graded forum in any way, but if you want to post conversations with each other inside of this forum, that's what this is for. You can ask each other questions about the class. You can use it as a personal interaction area. You have reviewed the netiquette guides at this point, so I want you to stick to the netiquette guides for your interaction in the discussion board forum, in all of the discussion board forums, but you may use it for other than class-related items. Finally, this Ask the Instructor forum is an area where you can actually ask a question that you feel the rest of the class might benefit from. I will check this daily and try to respond in helping you to answer that question if I can. Of course, if you want an immediate response from me or a more immediate response, email is the most immediate way of getting my attention and getting a response from me. But this is something, actually I'm saying that it's something new. It's something that I've been using for a couple of semesters now, and I've had mixed success with it, so I want to see if it works for your class. But what I envision is that someone comes up with a question and they think, hey, the rest of the class ought to hear this question and also hear the answer. So you can post your question here, and when I come in and read it and give you the answer, everybody will be able to read that answer. The next area that we want to take a look at is called rubrics. So in this area, the first thing that I'm mentioning is the definition of a rubric. And you can read this in detail, but I just learned about rubrics myself in the last 10 years or so. So I don't expect that everybody will know what a rubric is. So I'm kind of explaining a little bit about how they're used, and especially how they're used in this class. You will see me add rubrics to this area. I have a general discussion board rubric here. The big thing about rubrics is that they're used to give you points or to add points to your score, as opposed to taking away points when you get something wrong. So when you create an assignment or when you produce a product in this class, and you know what the rubric requirements are, you know what the requirements are to get an outstanding rating, to get a proficient rating, to get a basic rating, or to get a needs improvement rating, I want you to always be shooting for that outstanding rating. And you can read what it takes to get that outstanding rating in the column underneath that item. So for instance, on the discussion board under critical thinking, if your responses seem to be full of thought and insight and analysis, not just repeating something that you've read, you're going to get 4 points for that discussion board post. If you are actually connecting what you are discussing to what we're learning in the lesson, and you can make that connection in your discussion, again, you'll get outstanding on this category. If you are kind of making a connection but not quite there yet, you would receive 3 points for proficiency. And then again, basic would be 2 points. Limited connections, and maybe I understand that you are understanding the material, but you're not really tying in your discussion to the material, that would be a basic. But as you can see, you can get a very good number of points and a good range of points. As long as you're concentrating on doing the best that you can, you're going to be able to do well on any of the assignments that I'm using a rubric to grade. So anyway, this is an example rubric. It will, we'll be posting other ones as we get to different assignments. I will post the rubrics for those specific assignments, and then I'll link you here to let you see what the rubric is for that particular assignment, and then you'll be able to match your work to the rubric. All right, next on the list is send email. This is an area that allows you to send email via our Delgado email system. You can't receive email here, but if you need to send a message to me, the instructor, or to a classmate or to a group of classmates, you can choose the appropriate link here and send email to the people in the class. The next area is my grades. This is going to show you your grades for everything that's posted in Blackboard. Of course, there is nothing really in here now except for the introductions forum, but you'll see a list of items in this column called item name, and also what you will see is a grade. Your grade would be in the column entitled grade, and then the points possible, which is the points that you can achieve, or the maximum points that you can achieve on this particular assignment, will be in the points possible column. And then finally, any comments that I have made in grading would show up in the comments column. So come out here occasionally and take a look at this area to see what's missing. You can tell what's missing, what your grades are, and any comments. Sometimes I will ask you to contact me here, but more often than not, I'll also send you an email if I need something immediately. One of the things that I do want to mention, when you submit an assignment and you need my immediate attention on a comment, do not expect me to see it on the assignment comment. If you need immediate attention, or you have a question that you need answered immediately, email is always going to be the best way. The next area is the My Profile area. And this is where, and you'll hear a little bit more about this in the next step, but this is where I want you to add your profile information, your introduction, and if you would like to add an image, it doesn't have to be an image of you. It could be an image that represents you, like a flower or a pet or something like that. You can also put in any websites that you would like. None of this is required, or none of this information here. What is required is that you do post some type of introduction, and you can be as open with that as you like. It's just going to be accessible by our classmates, but it is going to be reviewable by your classmates. So just keep that in mind. Again, stick to the Netiquette guidelines that have been posted. Finally, student resources is an area that this may change as I gather information, but it has technical support information for different areas and links to areas that will help you move around in the college system. There's a link to the student self-service web. There is an academic calendar here. There's a link to information about the Office of Disability Services. I've repeated the information about the computer system requirements, and there's also a folder with links to technical support for both Delgado and my IT lab. And like I said, I may be adding things in here as I see links or phone numbers need to be added. So now that you've got an idea of what step 4 is actually about, now it's your turn to actually go and take a look at these areas. And feel free to look at any of the areas in the course as many times as you wish to get an idea of where everything is. Again, assignments we have not gone through specifically, but that's where you're going to go for your next step. Step 5 is asking you to do Unit 0 in the assignments area. And so that is where you're going to go next from this step.